Combating is greater than complaining. Welcome to another manly rant where we rant to support males, to crush maliteracy, some people call this effeminacy, and aspire to domestic excellence. Today we are talking about the topic of complaining as males, and we're looking at this from Joshua 17, verses 14 to 18. The main emphasis for today, for us as strong men and supporters of manliness, is that the infant complains while the warrior combats. We are listening because we're in an age where men increasingly are seen complaining and venting in a way that does not show action. And we're encouraging mature males to look, yes, it's okay to have some emotional intelligence, but it's, I believe, more impressive to find ways, after dealing with our emotional state, to find ways to solve issues and to address the challenges that we face in life and our families are looking to us for support with. In Joshua 17:14 to 18, we see an example of a Hebrew tribe that was complaining about land that they were trying to settle, and they could not settle that land. These were some descendants of one of the Hebrew patriarchs called Joseph, and they were complaining about their impotence to possess the inheritance that they were called to possess in the promised land. Meanwhile, when we look back at Joshua 15:13 to 19, another Hebrew patriarch called Caleb, he wants to get land in a place called Hebron. Instead of complaining, Caleb engages combat. He decides to fight to get the land, to fight the giants in Hebron at the age of 85, I believe. He is a mature man. He is a senior patriarch. And many would say at his age he should not be fighting. But he shows that even as a senior man, he still has the capability, capacity, and the mindset to fight for what he wants to possess versus to complain for it. So we make the point that there are two avenues we see the Hebrews take often in possessing the land. One is combat and the other is complaining. And we make the point that the descendants of Joseph, seem entitled here in this tract in Joshua 17:14 to 18. They think that they should be awarded more land just because of who they are. Joshua, who is the leader of the Hebrews, remember at this time Moses had died, and Joshua was anointed or chosen, empowered to be the king, the leader of the Hebrews as they possess the land in Canaan. Joshua then commands these descendants of Joseph. He commands them to show their greatness by combating the Canaanites. Remember, they saw the Canaanites as gigantic. They, meaning the Hebrews, they saw the Canaanites as a very impressive opposition. And the descendants of Joseph, they are complaining to Joshua to award them the land. And Joshua responds, if you're so great, because they believe they're descendants of Joseph. Joseph was a great leader. He was the vice president, or vice pharaoh, of Egypt. And Joseph is seen as a great patriarch in the Hebrew history. And he says, okay, to show how great you are, we don't show greatness by complaining. We show greatness by combating. And he says, show your greatness through your combat, not through your entitlement and verbal complaining. So Joshua is encouraging them, rather than complaining, to settle the land but to settle the land through combating. Now there was a precedence of Yahweh responding to complaints by the Hebrews, and he provided water when they complained in Exodus 17:1-7. He provided quails when they complained in Numbers 11, verse 33. So complaining has been, quote unquote, productive for the Hebrews. So when they see that complaining is one way Yah responds to them, they will try to press that cheat code over and over again. However, the complaining seems to be the strategy in the wilderness period. But now that they as the Hebrews are in the promised land, combat seems to be the route to possess the land. Yah seems to respond to our complaints when we are immature, whilst as we enter a more intimate and more mature stage, he responds to our combat. So here, by the time we are in Joshua 17, in Exodus 17, when the Hebrews are complaining about water, Yah responds with the water, because they were just delivered from slavery in Exodus 14, I believe. So they're in a less mature stage of their relationship with Yahweh. Between Exodus 17 and Joshua 17, Yahweh, I believe, expects some level of maturity. They have been through the wilderness period. They have entered the promised land. And rather than complaining, Yah now expects combat. Many of us have enough experience with Yahweh to understand that we cannot complain our way out of the bad marriages that many of us are into the bad parental situations, bad finances. We have seen enough of Yah's working in our lives to understand that Yah will not respond to our complaints. Some of us in our prayer life, we're getting up, we're praying, we're fasting, but the mindset that we still have for some of us is one of entitlement, and we come to Yah, oh God, give me this, give me that. And God is saying, as he said to Moses, what do you have in your hand? Stretch it out and use it. He's saying, just as Joshua said to Caleb, fight. Use your prowess. Use your spiritual gifts. Use your anointing. Use your calling to establish that business, to woo your wife, to be a better parent, and not expect any magical treatment from Yahweh. But we know that we as males, as we mature, we want to depend more now on our capacity to put faith into action rather than to depend on the miracles of Yahweh. Nothing wrong with miraculous interventions. But as we get older, Yah wants us to trust him with our actions, with our works, and not to have this magical entitlement that Yah will just supernaturally give us what we believe we deserve. If we're so great, if we're strong men, let's see your faith into action, as Brother James tells us that faith without works is dead. So again today, the immature complain and the mature combat. We do hope that you leave your comments in the comment section on YouTube. We encourage you to have a great day today, crushing effeminacy and maliteracy, as we call it. So why rob God and this world of you and your family? And until next time, be nuclear.